If your employer gave you the option to work 10 hours days Monday to Thursday instead of 8 hours days Monday to Friday, would you do it? Why not? Why not?
Ha ha ha. My work did that. Step 1. If you switch to salary, we will switch your schedule to a 4-day work week. Step 2. Make employees work the 5th day because we can't reschedule the morning meetings.
I had a carpentry job where this happened. Our boss offered your proposed option, we all talked it over, and then tried it out. It was a huge success. If we needed to work overtime we could do it Friday. The regularity of the 3-day weekend was amazing, understatement. Getting our crew off-site for a day enabled other departments to come in and do their thing without navigating around us at least once a week. I got a job with better pay eventually, but I still miss it, smiley face.
I currently work a 4 to 10 schedule. It's great. A whole extra day not being at work every week is invaluable. Honestly, if another company came by and offered me a 20k raise, I don't know that I would take it if it meant that I would have to work 5 days a week.
At my workplace it goes somewhat differently. The boss wants us to work 10 hours a day Monday to Thursday and then 10 again on Friday. We have the choice whether we come in on the weekend.
No, I feel like my week would become stale and I'd really miss daily chit-chat with the cower of COUUUUUURSE. Yeah, absolutely. I'd 100% prefer it.
Definitely. Longer workdays balanced out by longer weekends would be nice. Flexible work schedules in general would be good too.
If my employer let me work Mon to Thursdays 10 hours instead of Mon to Saturday 11 hours, I would be well happy. This is actually the way I work. It's amazing.
Another question: do you think employees would be motivated to work just as hard if this was an option? Would they get the same amount accomplished 4 by 10 hours each week versus the 5 by 8 hours?
I would start it today. Days off are always worth working extra on the days you actually have to work.
If those were the only choices, yes. But along with those two options, my job has a third option of 9 hours Monday to Thursday and 8 hours every other Friday, which I find a happy medium that allows me to get frequent 3-day weekends and still allows me time to work out on workdays.
I used to work 10 hours a day Monday through Friday. Hell yeah, I would take that. I've heard that working 4 10-hour shifts increases productivity since you feel like you have more downtime.
Let me throw my opinion in, as not many people seem to agree. My dad is doing this, except he has Monday off instead of Friday. At first, he agreed with Reddit and thought it would be great, but it isn't. Because he has a long commute, he wakes up before everyone else and comes back after we have eaten dinner. On weekdays, we barely get to see him. This problem is even worse because of how tired he gets. By the time he's home, he just wants to sleep. The extra day for the weekend would be nice, but the rest of the family is working or at school, so he can only really spend it alone or by catching up on work. If you're a young, single worker, this schedule is probably a good fit, but if you're older, tire easily, or have any long-term relationships like a wife or kids, don't do it.
I already have that option. State worker offered flexible work-life balance options. Tried it. That last hour is a bitch and it basically ruins Monday to Thursday, went back to 5 days. Some people take off Wednesday just to break up the week.
Yes. I used to have a schedule like that. Your shifts will be a little more of a pain, but you get a 3-day weekend, edited, and managing your time will be way easier. You won't regret it.
Yeah, 2 hours extra a day would make up for an extra day off. 2 days go by so fast I can barely do anything productive.
I do this already, sort of. My boss is quite cool with me working my own schedule as long as I do 2 things. 1. Get all my stuff done and any other project he needed done. 2. Keep my hours at 40. So generally I will just put in 9-hour days Monday to Thursday, and then fry as a half day to finish up any lagging issues before the weekend. I don't have the ability to put a full 10-hour day in Monday to Thursday due to my home obligations and the fact that my husband and I carpool at least 2 to 3 times a week and he usually is off by 4 p.m.
My boss asked me to switch from 8-hour days, with just Sat and Sun off, to 12-hour days with an alternating schedule of 2 3-day weekends each month, as well as only working 2 days in a row on weekdays. If this makes sense to you, you know it's a sweet deal. Same number of hours each pay period, but with more time for bow hunting season and gaming.
I did that for about 6 months. The weekends were great, I did so much traveling, camping and weekend getaways, and I had so much time. But the weekdays were not good. Between the commute and the extra hours, I had only about 2 hours in the evening before I had to go bed. So I would just eat some food and then crash. I wouldn't see anyone or talk to anyone besides my coworkers during the work week. It got to the point where I felt like I was living 2 completely different lives, and it was really weird. I really liked the weekends, but when the scheduling team put me back to MF, I didn't complain.
Yes. I worked a 10 to 4 shift for years and it was great. You barely notice an extra 2 hours a day, but you sure as heck notice an extra day off a week. It also makes it super easy to arrange for appointments like dentist or doctor without having to take time off work, so you can use your vacation days for actual fun stuff.
That's my work schedule and I love it. I barely notice the extra 2 hours on the days I work, and it gives me a long weekend to spend with friends.
Absolutely. Those days would be longer, but I could do so much more with regular 3-day weekends than 2-day ones. How about 2 20-hour days?
I have worked 4-10s for most of the last 5 years. A few months here and there I worked 5-8s. I prefer the 4-10s. First, having a 3-day weekend is amazing. Second, one less commute day a week, so 20% less gas and wear and tear on your vehicle. Third, most holidays fall on a Monday, which makes it a 4-day weekend, or mini vacation. Sure, I have to get up a little earlier and stay a little later, but overall I come in before the major traffic and leave after the afternoon rush. It works for me, may not be for everyone. Edit. So many questions. I work 4 10-hour days a week. I work at a power plant. I used to work Sunday to Wednesday, but just recently swapped to Monday to Thursday. My core hours are 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. I get up around 4:30 and leave my house by 5. I get home just before 5 p.m. If a holiday falls on my day off, then we get to bank 8 hours of vacation. If it falls on a work day, then 8 hours are free and I have to use 2 hours from my vacation bank. The company offsets this by giving you 1 extra hour of vacation every 2 weeks if you are on 10 hours days. Also, once a year we shut down for maintenance. 30 to 60 days. That is when the fun starts. We work 6 days a week, 12 hours days the entire shutdown. It's all or nothing, you either work it or turn it all down, and they hire a temporary additional to make up for the lost time. If they need us to work overtime, we work an extra day, 5-10s, get 50 hours for the week and still get 2 days off. I'd rather employers realize that with modern technology many office staff can now accomplish 8 hours of work in 6 hours. In my ideal option, we would work 30 hours per week and still receive full salary.
Definitely.
I rarely get a lot done on Friday regardless, and I usually spend significantly more than 8 hours in the office anyway. I would jump at the opportunity.
Fuck yes. I used to have that at my gas station job and it's the only thing I miss about it. Trust me, you feel that third day off more than you feel those extra 2 hours of work.
I mean, honestly, who wants to work 5 days a week? I recently retired from the military after being on call 24 hours a day for the past 20 years, where average work days were 12 to 15 hours long. My current employer doesn't mind when I work just as long as I work 40 hours per week. I usually have Monday off and work Tuesday to Friday. Tuesday to Thursday I'll generally work 11 or 12 hours and work the remaining hours on Friday. It doesn't matter how I do it, just as long as I reach 40 hours.
This actually was offered to me, Monday off, not Friday, but still, and I turned it down. 2 hours later each night puts me home around 7:38, literally when my daughter is going to bed. I would only see her on my 3 days off. My wife has a demanding job too, veterinarian, and it took us a while to get our schedule the way we like it. These are the good years, man. I don't wanna miss a thing.
Fuck yes, I would. 3-day weekend. We've actually been pushing for this for years in my office. Edit.
As a civil engineer who works 10 hours a day 6 days a week, this post makes me sad.
Nope. Mainly because the employers are not disciplined enough to hold to it. We scheduled a demo to the CEO on Friday. I don't work on Friday. Mind coming in and working? I have a camping trip planned. I thought you were a team player. Can I take Monday off instead? HR won't allow that.
I have done it. Honestly, I think it is kind of diminishing returns. If I am being real, I have about 6.5 good hours in me. Past that, I get less and less done. I always felt when working at 10 I got most of the work I had planned for the day done and then sat around for 2 hours. I am sure some folks have the opposite experience, but for me the 10-hour day was boring. The 3 days off were awesome though.
Definitely. It's an extra day off. Days already ruined by having to work, so what's 2 hours more per day?
Only if the commute was very short or I got credit for working through lunch. 10 hours is a long day, and when you add my 45-minute commute on top of it, it's a bit much. 4 nains and a half day on Friday or 4 nains and alternating Fridays off is a lot easier.
I've done it and would do it again, all about that 3-day weekend.
I have an hour each way commute, making a 12-hour day, so I chose to have Wednesday off instead of Friday. Colleagues who take Friday say they are usually so wrecked by the end of the week that their Friday is a write-off anyways. My Wednesday feels like a work week lunch break. It's awesome.
Yes. I've never had a job where I get weekends off, and I get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off every week. You bet your ass I would work 4 10-hour days.
That's funny since here in Sweden we are moving towards working 6-hour days instead of 8. However, still free Saturday to Sunday. Edit, should also add that we have 5 weeks vacation. You are also allowed to take a half-hour break every 5th worked hour. If you lose your job and have an unemployment insurance, cost around $15 a month, you get 80% of your previous salary for 100 days, and for additional 200 days you get 70%. After 300 days has passed you get put on a program and get 65%. I have that option now. Except I also get to work 10 hours on Friday. This saves me the cost of going away for a 3-day weekend, so it's economically sound. Sob. Edit, fist bump to fellow s_laves _allery people.
Consider subscribing.